It's Vancouver's podcast on the Canada's Podcast Network.
Hi, this is Angela Barnard coming to you from the Network Hub in Nanaimo with BC entrepreneur Rakesh Soni. Let me tell you a little bit about him. Over the last 5 years, he's been instrumental in growing LoginRadius from a tech startup to an industry leader in the digital identity space, securing over 1 billion, yes, billion user identities worldwide. He's raised about 20 million of funding from Microsoft's M12, ForgePoint Capital, Real Ventures, and more. And why it's relevant is as our lives become more digitized, Rakesh aims to improve online experiences and provide cybersecurity for every internet user. He angles business development strategies to improve trust between customers and businesses by creating solutions in online security and privacy, along with high performance online experiences. So ultimately, Rakesh wants to protect digital identities around the world, whether they're freezing in Canada or surfing in Australia. So first of all, Rakesh, welcome. You are here sitting in Vancouver with us today, right?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Angie.
Perfect. Well, so let's just kick it off. Tell me a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah, so I came to Canada. I've been 13, 14 years as a student and love this country, enjoy my student life here, and then always wanted to get into business and innovation. And being an engineer, tech is what I loved. Back in 2012, I, along with my co-founder, started this evening project called LoginRadius. And then it kind of became a company in 2013, and we quit our job. And since then, we have been trying to build this business to help, internet user to have a better experience and, better security and better privacy for them.
Perfect. Well, we talked a little bit about where your business is located. Can you share with us again?
Yeah. So we headquartered here in Vancouver, BC, Canada. With offices in Toronto, on Ontario, as well as we have two offices in India, one of my hometown, Jaipur, and also Hyderabad, another tech city in India. Plus, we have some regional small offices, in various countries as well.
And yet, most of your actual business transactions are where?
Most of our clients, I would say more than 90% of them are outside Canada.
Okay.
So we are pretty spread globally, heavily North America, US, Canada, Europe, APAC regions are where we are getting significant, adoption of our technology.
Right. And any challenges in being based in Canada, but with all your global clients in US, UK, international?
Being in Canada, I think is pretty good. There's no specific challenge from location point of view. It's pretty close to Silicon Valley from Vancouver, so that pretty solid connectivity. Vancouver is a well-connected city. Time zone wise is pretty good as well. With our office in India, we are able to cover our clients 24/7. So that way we kind of complement each other. But the only kind of challenge I see is that our tech ecosystem is not as strong as some other ecosystems in the world. So getting those senior talent, taking company to the next level is always challenging.
What do you think are the biggest gaps here in BC right now?
I would say the biggest gap I see, Angie, is around the senior talent.
Okay.
The people who have already, done that and scaled the company to hundreds of millions of revenue, people who have took the companies to public, there are very, very handful of such examples we have. And that means we did not produce enough talent on that sector. And then, Vancouver is a great city to attract talent though, but
Absolutely.
It's still challenging for senior
Great lifestyle city.
Yeah.
So do you think, what do you think is the best strategy for you guys? Do you think it'll be growing that senior talent from within, or do you think it'll be hiring from around the world?
Yeah, we always prefer to, develop talent internally, and we have done it in past. However, we are always trying to see if we can bring more senior talent, in Vancouver from outside. We are a pure tech company. Because of that, people can actually work remotely. and they can still contribute. So
Right.
we are continue investing or figured out the better way to work remotely with our team.
Yeah.
And and that's why we have more and more spread workforce now. And with that, I think our access to talent would be easier.
Well, and one thing I'm intrigued about, and I think, we hear tech companies, but can you give me an idea of what you actually do? Like, you're programming, and what is the function that you serve for your B2B and mostly B2B clients,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So we are an enterprise software as a service platform,
Mhm.
and what we do is we manage login function on websites and mobile app and everything around login. So
Okay.
let's say you're a consumer, you go to a website, whether it's a news or travel or wherever you go, even your bank, you need to sign up, you need to create an account, then you need to log in, and then you finally log out. So businesses need to manage your digital identity at their end. And then our software fundamentally manage that whole login experience, whether it's a sign up to email verifications, identity verifications, to authentications, to single sign on, to securing the account, securing the data, managing the data in the back end, ensuring the privacy regulations are in place, pretty much anything you can think around login. And that's how we came up with the name LoginRadius, by the way. We put login at the center, everything around login create the radius, and our vision is how we continue expanding the radius to grow this business and serve more and more clients.
Love it. Love it. Now, I'm curious, I would, this is a bit of an assumption here, but are most of your clients enterprise level, sort of, Fortune 500 companies or big companies?
Yeah, I mean, when we started the company, we were targeting a lot of SMBs and then mid-market and then enterprise. So we do have clients in all these segments, but our platform is primarily the modern version we have as of today is primarily designed to serve global 2000 sort of companies, the big companies. However, we have stripped down smaller versions as well for SMB and mid-market, which we serve as well. Yeah.
Cool. So you do have that sort of small business market,
we
or
do.
a product for that market as well. Okay, well, I'm curious about that as well. But really, you're the best person to talk to, so I would redirect people to you. Talk to me about what fuels your passion. What gets your juices going every day, Rakesh, to love what you do? What is it that really drives you every day in the long run?
Yeah, so what really excites me, or when I get up every morning, right, is that the consumers, like when we go to internet, and nowadays a lot of people spend so much time on internet, and then we always go through their frustration around bad experience, right? And then if my account is breached, then it even become a nightmare for me for days and even months.
Right.
Thinking about my privacy and my information, people might get into my financial accounts and so on. So my mind and the rest of the team's excitement is around how we make that experience great for these people, how we can remove the day-to-day frustration on internet, and how we secure those account and data and privacy so that we give the peace of mind to those hundreds of millions of people. Currently we have over a billion identities of people using our platform indirectly, but with over 4.5 or 5 billion internet user population, and each probably have like a 10, 20 accounts. So there's over 100 billion digital identities, even more. So how we kind of penetrate into that and help, make internet a better place.
How are you going to?
Well, we are continue innovating our technology to ensure that we really meet the modern challenge around experience, security, and privacy. And then with the infused capital from our investors like Microsoft's M12, ForgePoint, we are continue building the solid team together and trying to distribute this technology and make awareness of this technology to the bigger audience. And that way, I think we will able to penetrate more and more of internet population through our customers.
Awesome. Rakesh, what do you think are the trends over the next decade that people in the tech sector should be mindful of? And maybe, I mean, you're kind of in the security industry. What should we be aware of that we should prepare for?
Yeah, so the biggest trend which is already going on and it's going to get even better or maybe worse for some companies who don't follow it, is the experience. So the modern consumers are very well connected.
Mhm.
They want things on demand. They want this amazing personalized experience. They are not here to wait for minutes and even like more than even 5 seconds. Like I
Right.
remember in early 2000, when I was in India, we had dial-pad connections, right? I was
Yeah.
okay waiting for the web page to
When you hear
load
the
for.
little
Yeah.
in the background.
So I was okay waiting for my email to load in like 3 minutes. That was amazing those days. But when I go to internet or when you look at the younger population, right, they barely have like a 3 to 5 seconds.
Wow.
Within that time, they want that experience and service and right information in front of them. For example, companies like Google, they have done it when you type a little bit something and then Google automatically suggests it and like, hey, this is exactly what I was looking for. So the most of the internet population is getting programmed to have that expectation of that modern experience. The brands and businesses are way behind it. And that's the biggest trend the businesses need to do. And not only businesses, even like a pub sector, like municipalities. If I want to pay my parking fine, I'm not going to go to your office between 9 to 5. I want to pay whenever I want, maybe Saturday night. If I want
Right.
some home permit. So governments to healthcare to banks to media and so on, these modern consumers are very different, and the companies need to really understand and serve them. That's the one big trend. And second
Absolutely.
trend is that how consumers interact with the brands is already evolving. Started with the computer, then it's a mobile phone, and now you see the adoption of smart speakers. So smart speaker is getting pretty much everywhere, and people want to interact with you through voice. There's no more screen. And in the future, there are more interfaces will come in next, say, 10 or 15 years. And companies and people need to really understand how they're going to serve their customers through these new media, and that's another big trend coming up.
Wow. Fantastic. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know how that works. Right? How if we're going to lose screens and it's going to be voice, I can't imagine. We'll get you at an event at some point with Canada's podcast, and you can share maybe
For
what we need
sure.
to know and what technical skills we need to know to get there. But let's talk a little bit about what's your ask actually with your company right now. If you've got something in the next 6 months that you really need to achieve, whether it's market, capital, talent. What do you need right now? How can people help?
We are always, I mean, we are a growing young company, so we pretty much need all aspects, whether it's the customers or always looking to hire more talent in the company. So our biggest ask is, anybody who would like to improve the experience, security, and privacy for their consumers. I'd love to kind of talk about our technology and how we can help. We're always looking for talent to continue, support our growth. And then we're also looking for strong partners who can work closely with us to, increase the adoption of our technology.
And who can you describe a great partner right now for you? What would be a good strategic partner?
The partners could be most of the service companies out in the market, tech consulting firms, the companies who work in security, cybersecurity, or companies who work on digital transformations. Their clients fundamentally need a digital identity platform to provide that
Perfect.
experience.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Let's switch tacks a little bit and talk about where you work and how you work. Can you describe a day in the life of Rakesh?
Yeah, so I work here in our headquarters mainly, but definitely traveling a lot here and there. But I usually start my work around 7 o'clock in the morning. So usually spend 15, 20 minutes morning to quickly scan my calendar and emails, anything particularly I need to address. So quickly catch up on those things and then get ready and get to office by 8 a.m. That's what I typically target. I live walking distance from office, and that's how I always live.
Lovely.
I hate, I mean, I love transit to some extent, but I hate wasting, 2 hours of my
Wasting
time on
time.
transit.
Exactly.
So I get close to my office, and from 8 a.m., to 6 p.m. or 6:30, I usually stay in the office. And, a lot of, meetings, that's what usually happens more than anything nowadays. Sometimes some interviews, strategic discussions, and so on. And I usually have lunch in the office as well. We provide breakfast, so I usually also have breakfast in the office. And pretty much I stay in the office from 8 to 6 before I leave for home.
And where do you go? What do you do for recreation, inspiration? Can you think of another cool spot that you'd like to go that fuels you?
Yeah, so I do a little bit of running. So I usually like to run every day, 3 to 5 kilometers, or 10, 12 kilometers sometimes too. So that keeps me, my
Fit
brain
for work?
refreshed every day. And then I do quite a bit of books reading. I definitely spend a lot of time on internet as well, kind of getting up to speed on what's happening in the world and tech scene particularly. But I do read a lot of books, and that's where I get my inspirations, and a lot of my self-learning happens through those books. I try to read not a lot, but probably 30 to 40 books a year. That's what I try to target.
It's quite a bit. How do you do it? Is it you're actually old school paperback, or are you
Yeah, I
audio
prefer
books? Yeah,
paperback.
yeah.
I prefer paperback. With the traveling, what happens is like I keep books, so and it's like a 4-hour flight to Toronto. Then I
Yeah.
try to read a lot. But I also have a thumb rule of reading around 20, 25 pages a day.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be as disciplined as possible, and then a couple of tricks can help me get there.
Fantastic. Now, your office is actually physically right downtown Vancouver, is that right?
Yeah, we are next to Waterfront Station, block
Oh,
and a half, I think, or 2 blocks.
right downtown. So you're
Yeah.
living and working right downtown Vancouver.
And we have
Fantastic.
gorgeous view to North Van, and seeing the seaplane landing and taking off.
Absolutely. And and so obviously you're running close to there on the harbor front, things like that.
Yeah,
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 perfect. So a little bit, I mean, you talked about you do a lot of reading, you have a lot of inspirations. Let's have some fun with some rapid fire questions. What do you have an inspirational quote on your computer or your wall, or something that you kind of is a bit of a mantra or something that sticks for you?
Oh, I have a lot of them, but I think on my laptop I have two get shit done. So one. Apologize for that.
Yeah, okay.
And the second is, sales goes up and down, but service remains forever.
Wow.
So we kind of
That's pretty
really
cool.
care about our customers, and your mantra is like, service is, very, very important. We don't want that to be down.
Yeah, absolutely. How about, I mean, obviously with 30 to 40 books a year, it's probably hard to pick one or two, but could you give us one essential reading that you'd love to recommend to listeners?
I mean, I read all sort of books, so history to psychology to entrepreneurship to sales and stuff like that. Um, I like one of the book I read a year and a half ago, Pitch Anything.
Hmm.
That was a very good book on how you kind of communicate and present your ideas and tell your story to the audience, not audience, but more in the one-on-one meetings.
Yeah.
So I found it very, very helpful book.
Fantastic. And who is your most influential mentor?
I mean, the people I follow, or
The people who are kind of essential influencers for you and how you think, and who feed you consistently.
like in my personal life, one-on-one, my coach, or those people.
Yeah.
I have a coach, but that's only like recently. But usually, some of my close friends and my co-founder,
Nice.
we constantly talking and bouncing ideas. Some of my board members. So
You have a board? Yeah.
We have board of directors. So I, bounce a lot of ideas. They provide a lot of mentorship, share ideas. Like my board altogether probably managing over 150 companies in their portfolio. So they bring a lot of those learnings to me.
Wow.
And then,
Okay. Well, and I'm a little bit curious about your board of directors. How did you find them? How did you appoint them? Or what's their interest and skin in the game with you?
yeah, so most of them are our investors at the same time.
Okay.
So as we work together, they found us, as a exciting opportunity to invest and partner with us. And with that partnership, we brought them as a board member so that they can, share their knowledge and experience with us and help the company, help us build the company.
Perfect. What is on your bucket list to achieve in the next 12 months, personally or travel-wise?
Personally, I wanted to run a full marathon, which I haven't done yet.
Cool.
So that's one of the big one I want to get done. Hopefully, this summer is almost over here, so maybe next year. That's the one big, and then on travel, probably want to spend a couple of more weeks in Europe. So let's see next summer if
Nice.
I can do that. These are the two personal short-term items.
Perfect. Well, and it's one of our fun questions with Canada's podcast is to say, listen, if you were abandoned on a remote island with no technology and no way of connecting with the world, you could make one phone call at when you were done for somebody to come pick you up. How long would you last on this island, and what would you do there?
How long would I last?
Yeah, if you didn't have.
But as long as there is food, right, to survive.
so true.
I think I can last. I think I can last a long. I mean, I love people and all those things, but from lasting point of view, I also kind of get maybe in writing, and I enjoy nature a lot as well. But I think, I don't know, maybe 6 months, 12 months.
Wow, that's the longest anybody's ever said. That's fantastic.
But I think beyond that, it might be hard. I need some human interaction after that.
Before you start talking to balls. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Is there anything you'd like to add for today?
No, I don't know any particular thing I need to say.
Perfect. Well, and how can we connect with you? What's the best way of connecting with you after today?
Yeah, I usually connect with people on LinkedIn. So if anybody search my name with LoginRadius, they should be able to find me. And the second is Twitter. So on Twitter, my Twitter handle is OYE, and then my last name Soni, SONI. That's where people can interact with me.
Excellent. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to meeting you in person, hopefully over one of the Canada Podcast events coming up. Congratulations on the success of your company so far, LoginRadius. We look forward to tapping into, beyond the 1 billion users into that 400 billion market, and look forward to knowing you through that process. Thanks again, Rakesh, for joining us on Canada's podcast.
Thanks for hosting me, Angie. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.